Hello, hello. So doing a commentary on the video that I posted yesterday about the power supply interruption special condition that has been just posted to the beta for Darktide. The two maps are the oubliette and the power station. I knew the oubliette map a bit better, so I went with that one. I was expecting it to be a little bit dark, but definitely caught me off guard with how dark it actually ended up being. Got into a match pretty quickly here, as well as got lucky and got some of the seasoned veterans that have been sticking around in the game since beta kicked off here about 2 weeks ago. So here we go, loading in. Already got one other person that jumped in with us there. With it being an assassination, I already expected it to be like sort of easy to get through. But yeah, it's like nobody brought along any weapons with flashlights or torches if you come from that end of the world. There we go, loaded in. Looks like normal starting area, and then just darkness. And I was just thinking to myself, like, I am so happy I know this map fairly well. Because ran this so many times trying to find scriptures or grimoires. Got a rough idea, and here I am, this crazy dark. Conversing a little bit with one of the players, waiting for the other one to catch up, but then said screw it, just jump down. It's not really high difficulty mission we're doing, but as you can see, like, you can see some of the water running in the distance, but that doesn't help too darn much. There is small light sources here or there. Also, always good to keep an eye out for those crafting materials, since they are not that plentiful in the missions, which is to be expected, I'd say. We are running through the sewers and dumps and abandoned areas, or also areas that were overtaken by the legions of chaos here. Sort of regretting that I was running with the grenadier gauntlets, but hey, they're still fun to play with. But knew this, thankfully I knew this was, you know, a little turned down, and you can go in here and don't have to worry about falling off the edge. The glowing from the consoles here was sort of nice to see. A bit more emphasis on that. But I had noticed whenever watching other people play through these things, if you have your stuff turned up well enough, you can see some of the glowing of the enemy's eyes, as well as some of the lesser enemies that are just the ones that are infected. Like the one that I just hit with the shield there, you see the eyes a bit better with that, and also their skin has, the veins has a green glowing to it as well. But we're going along here. Don't think we hit the first one for, well, the first Daemonhost until a bit after this section. But yes, there's new enemy that was put into these. I think it might end up being just a dark map only enemy. It seems to really be made and tailored for that. You can see some of the glowing eyes over there and some of the helmets from the enemies. Of course, our one psyker going with the lightning has definitely helped with lighting up some of them as well. Going on through here, I was too centered on keeping up with the team to worry about stopping to look at the little effects for the enemies on this map that you don't notice as much in the regular lit maps. That might still be there to begin with, it's just we never notice it because it's well lit. The darkness isn't emphasizing it, making it pop out more. This area I was a little bit paranoid about what was going on in the area because I knew sometimes we'd get attacked by boss monsters in this area, well, monstrosities, as well as low railings to bit of deaths, so trying to keep an eye out for any possible explosive barrels going off and blowing me off the side. Whenever playing as the ogre, I try to manage keeping in decent health and toughness while running around. In case any teammate goes down, I can go and immediately start trying to pick them up after clearing away some of the enemies. So we got our generic push button, wait for stuff to happen. Got hope they're mentioning about the whispers that you can hear. You can hear some whispers throughout the map, and that's pretty cool. Little add-on to, well, addition to this special condition stuff. So like first walking in, like, I wasn't paying as much attention, but when you're first walking into this sort of stuff, the audio cues that they bothered to put into the game has been really interesting and neat. And then we got Tox Flamer up there. I tried poking it with the gauntlet here, but yeah. And then I decided to take it the easy way, just wait for him to drop down and shoot. Sort of disappointed that the gauntlets don't have as good splash damage. I have yet to actually take them into the meat grinder, or else the like testing grounds thing in this game for seeing how much damage a direct hit does and how much does the splash damage do. It is good sort of as crowd control for knocking enemies on their ass and giving your teammates some time to like either get out from the crowd or else get up there and start clearing them out while they're down with less chance that they'll get hit back. I think it usually takes 1 to 2 direct hits on an ogre enemy to knock them on their ass. Same for well, except for the monstrosity version, the plague ogre. That one, well, it's a monstrosity. It's a boss monster. You're doing okay-ish damage because it is just flesh. There's no armor to it. But yeah, you're still just mainly the meat shield and person for sucking up damage and trying to keep the team up and at them and going. And so we're coming up on our first Daemonhost, which I didn't see as very visible when we were first going up to it. Like, whenever you get much closer, you can see the glow way better, but at this distance, you can't even begin to see it. I think the glow doesn't activate until you're within a certain distance of it, as a sort of a warning sign. And somebody, I think later on in this, ends up mentioning that it's sort of like the witch from Left 4 Dead. But the witch was a lot more with audio cues I'd say, for hearing it. Whilst you hear it well before you see it, you hear the crying and stuff, and in this, it seems the whispers are what people were talking about. You got a gunner up there that hopefully one of them picks off. But the glowing from enemies definitely stands out. For some of them, there it is. Now it's like been slightly provoked, and then we got, you know, going up there and getting laid out and then down. I thought I completely missed the bull rush there, and it would have still technically been in the proximity for knocking it down. So I thought, okay, maybe that this isn't affected by bull rush, but yeah, as you can see, it goes after one of your teammates. From what has been sort of discerned so far, is the ones that initially aggroed the enemy is what's getting the attention. And there we go, popping the Banisher achievement. And some of the people I think it was either Vlad or also Adolf in the groups, like, hey, we'll be the first ones in the world to actually get this. Well, this isn't exactly World of Warcraft where they announce world first and stuff. But I'm sure it's something that the devs, if they really cared, they could open up the database and check out like what's the earliest time for this achievement being earned by a player. But there I was apologizing that my bull rush was on cooldown, thinking maybe it worked like the Beast of Nurgle, where you bull rush it whenever it's eating someone, or else it has eaten somebody. It'll make them spit it out, spit the person out. And here we are coming up on the Cathedral, Citadel, whatever it is. Also coming up on our second encounter with a Daemonhost, or Demonhost, however it's pronounced. But pretty far away from the front door, you don't even see it. But then, once you get within a certain range, it starts lighting up. This is another time that, like, paying sort of attention to the subtitles from the characters talking can keep you out of hot water. At least one of them seems to have mentions the Daemonhost whenever we walk up on it. But as neat, also seeing all the masks starting to, like the lenses of the masks. But here's one that's up there in the group, and as it was marked, it was like laying down. But then my one teammate here aggroed it, and it came over, hit me once because I was in the way. But Vlad was the first one to hit it, and I wasn't taking any risk with this one, so I tried popping a box at it. Luckily Vlad had a bit more HP, and looked like he's possibly even blocking pretty good to stay up that long before getting down, so that made it real easy for us to finish it off before it did this thing. But right here, I wanted to point out, so Vlad went down, but whenever it starts doing the soul drain or whatever it is, if you kill the host before it finishes the animation to like finish off your teammate, as you can see, teammate's back up, 2 bars full health with 1 purple. It's almost like you were knocked down normally anyway, but you don't have to worry about your teammate picking you up then. Not exactly the best way to do a reset, but still, it could be something in the future for, hey, if we already got this thing low on health, but we got a horde coming in, could possibly even use that as a quick up to full health again, at least, with plus the corruption, obviously. But I could see that possibly going wrong also if you were running 2 grimoires. Oh geez, if somebody was low enough on health because of the grimoires alone and then getting knocked down, I'm betting the insta-death would be very frustrating. And I think there's only difficulty 1 or 2, so it is taking down level 25 pluses with feats and better gear. I can only imagine how it'd be on something like Damnation, or else even Malice with the Grimoire is active as well. And I just noticed also part of what staggered my train of thought there was, saw that I did shoot that bulwark with two shots, but it didn't go down. Usually I'll see him, maybe it has to hit the shield, and that's what the impact is what causes them to fall down. But coming across this way, like I said, I've played this map enough times to know, you know, there's usually stuff over here. It looks like there's crafting materials, ammo kit. Always try to check those little crevices if you're trying to grind up materials for doing crafting and stuff. We're getting on in here, another 30-40 seconds here. We'll end up running into our last Daemonhost. The rest of this is pretty much straightforward with the mission. If you know the oubliette mission, then or the power station mission, this shouldn't affect you too much. It's a matter of just listening and paying attention to what's going on around you. A lot of situational awareness sort of stuff. Otherwise, it's not that bad of a condition, like compared to something like the more hordes of enemies condition. This isn't that bad. It's just like playing through a regular old mission. And there we go. There's our next Daemonhost. We're trying to clear out some of the enemies as we're going through. You can avoid them. You don't have to start combat like where that one is. We could have easily gone up the right hallway and just completely avoided it. But we were a bit kill hungry. So it's starting to get a bit aggroed over there with the with us shooting around, and one of our guys ended up shooting it, and boop, it teleported right up to us. That is probably one of the more scary things about the Daemonhost is right up in your face, and there's nothing the tank can do about it for pulling aggro from your teammate. We knocked it down, and I went to follow it, but then no. But we were putting enough damage on it that you can see Vlad's already at 2 bars and 1 corruption, so you're set to that while you're getting drained. And then we killed it, so they just put him right back on his feet. At this point, I forget who ended up getting disconnected. It was either Hope or Olaf. Not Olaf. Adolf. I think it was Adolf there that got disconnected, but ends up coming back before the end of the match. Oh, we're moving through this area. Like I said, this is all, it's just dark as hell. That's it. It's no switching up where like the paths aren't the same as they usually are, etc., etc. It's just really dark. And that's it. With the Daemonhosts scattered throughout the area, and there are other points that it can spawn other than the ones that I had shown you, like the drop down point into the cathedral with all the pews, where we ran into that. Well, I pointed out that the one bulwark didn't go down after I shot it 2 times. It could spawn there right after the drop down, right at the drop down area. I saw that on somebody else's stream. Here, just getting ready for the boss fight. I think whenever we get on the elevator, we start talking about like, hey, what if we get in there and there's damn Daemonhost like chilling in the corner and we don't even notice it until the last second and it joins us for the boss. It's like, nope. Yeah, please not be one in the boss room. Yeah, that would be horrible if one got into the boss room. And got a body in the corner there just bouncing around. I sort of find that amusing. Just looking around, see if I spot any crafting materials. I don't think I've seen crafting materials in the boss room yet. Nice chunk taken off the boss's shield if you use the Z for the Grenadier gauntlets. And I think it does hefty damage on just flesh as well, but I had to try to get a moment to reload, which I use up here. But after this time, the shield goes down, we end up killing it off. Boop. And finish everything with taking out the enemies. And yeah, so it was a pretty straightforward run through doing the mission as is. It's just super damn dark, and 3 encounters with the new Daemonhost enemy type that, yeah. I think it might be one of those things that if you do want to kill for the achievement, maybe have your Ogryn start the fight with it. Not sure how well it can hold up with, oh yay, a Ripper gun. But yeah, so that is the power supply interruption condition, along with the introduction of the Daemonhost enemy. Again, thank you all very much for those that watched the first video that was put out with no commentary. I'll do the same as I did in the first one, with doing chapter marks for just skipping through. So if you want to just like hear my thoughts on the fights, etc., you can just go with that. But until next time, thank you all very much for joining me for the commentary version of the original video, and hope you all have a nice day. Bye.